Hello there, YouTube. Look at this. I just paid $33.9 for gas. God damn tourist traps in these little small towns off the freeway like that. And this must be a camper's stop or something. That thing was packed full of travelers with campers. Looks like a new building there, or a refurbished old one. Old Calama here. It's quite old. It's been around here a long time. So I'm gonna take you. I'm gonna drive out here a bit. I'm going to take you up and over Carroll's Bluff. If I've ever used footage of going down I-5, heading north, and I ride along this huge rock cliff to my right, kind of rolls around. That's Carroll's Bluff, and that's all part of the Carroll's area anyway. So we don't really have white egrets. It's a type of bird up here. But Kelly and I, years ago, coming back and forth from Vancouver when we worked there in the early 2000s or mid 2000s, we noticed this white egret out there. And we noticed a couple. And we were amazed. I mean, they're definitely white egrets. We're trying to figure out what in the hell, these birds are not up at this far. And so I'm looking in bird books, look on the web. Nope, they're not up here. Well, now you drive by here all these years later. Of course, now I'm saying there's not a single one of them out there. But you drive by and there's just a huge flock of them. But really cool. What does that have to do with anything at all? I don't rightly know. Wow. It's 35 through here, and this gal is absolutely not going to go. She's not even going 35, actually. This thing must be patrolled a whole lot more than I know. Come on, gal. Don't you have some place to go? These, this thing out here, the whole thing is a mobile home park. That thing's always freaked me out. Jeez, what the hell gear was I in? That'll give you a little shake. Hush, 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 hush. Just stunningly beautiful. Old Camp Calama. There was a little redhead. My friend Dean, that in a lot of my early motorcycle stories. I don't know what the heck he was doing out here, but he knew some gal out here. She had a really pretty friend. There was this redhead gal. Her name was Angie. I still remember her name. And the irony behind that is there's some people we used to camp with at DeGray Lake in Arkadelphia, Arkansas. And the Ozarks. Ooh, that is choppy right there. But anyway, there was a guy my dad worked with. He was also a professional bass fisherman. And anyway, I don't know how it came about, but anyway, he was related to them, and her name was Angie. She was a cute little redhead as well. And In fact, my sister, Sonia, and Angie, and myself, and I think my little brother was out. He was still quite young at that point. I think he went fishing with my parents, but my parents were out fishing. And we had walked to this one boat ramp. You had to like leave the camping area, go down the road a little bit, and then you kind of backtrack. And it was this one area where you could go underwater with your goggles, and you'd find all these crystals. I had a huge box of crystals, and we moved when I moved my parents up here when I was quite young. That box of crystals disappeared. But anyway, we were down at that boat ramp. We were swimming, carrying on, just doing kid stuff. And we were coming back from the boat ramp, and we decide, we're going to see who could jog all the way back, and doing so, who would win. So we all take off. It's sweltering hot, So we take off, and slowly but surely, I'm out in the lead. I keep going to make a couple of turns, going up this long uphill that came out of the boat ramp. Oh, I'm up above Carroll's Bluff right now. My dad had a co-worker that had an accident. The guardrails here didn't have that Jersey barrier up there before, and anyway, guy had a wreck, drove off of that thing. Needless to say, he didn't survive. That's a long ways down. But back to the story. I kept running. Well, it felt good running, so I just kept on running. And so I get back down into the campsite. It was this long, steep downhill. And our normal campsite, it was during, well, you'll know the date. I mean, you'll know the date exactly. Hell, I used to know that date. Now I don't remember it. But there's some significance to this. So, anyway, we had to take a campsite on the side of a hill that we normally don't like. And then we just, wait for somebody to leave out of one of the other sites. And back then, you couldn't make a reservation and pick your site. In fact, I don't think there was any reservations at all. You just showed up and hoped you could find the spot. And so anyway, I just remember being on the side of this freaky downhill. Well, it's really creepy to go down with a camper and stuff. And back then, you could have a camper and your boat behind it. And anyway, this is Carroll's area. So I ran all the way to the camper, all the way. Well, I know, even as hot as I was, I knew that there was cold drinks and that my mom kept that air conditioner going on in the camper, and it was going to be nice and cool inside there. And she's got TV and everything, And we weren't supposed to be hanging out in the camper when my parents weren't around, Just go off and play, do your thing, And I always liked to rough it, and I always put a tent up, and I stayed in my tent. My sister and brother would stay in the camper at night. But you get to the camper, I go busting in. The air conditioner feels so good. I remember it was a cream soda. It was a Shasta cream soda. I remember grabbing that thing out of the little fridge, turning the old boob tube on. As soon as I turned the TV on, back then there's only 3 channels. And of course this was an antenna coming off the roof of the camper as well. And every channel, there's nothing on but news. And the news was that Elvis Presley had died that day. So how's that? And then my sister and Angie show up, and I'm freaking out. I'm going, Elvis Presley's dead. He died this morning. And he did not. So they're watching TV. I remember my sister getting all upset. Everybody's all upset. And so, hour or however much time had gone by, here my mom and dad, because one of the reasons they didn't like the campsite we were at, they had to walk down the hill to get to where, our boat was parked in a little cove. Or the good sites down at the bottom of the hill, I mean, the boat's literally just, you can watch your boat actually from your campsite. And anyway, my mom and dad come strolling up the hill, and I remember running out and telling my mom, and her like actually getting a little upset with me that, something like that's not even funny, how dare I come up with, some kind of a joke like that. Don't be shocking me like that. And my sister's there. She goes, "No, Mama, Elvis Presley, he died this morning. They died in his house, and he was found dead in his bathroom," or whatever the story was. And wow, what a shocker, man! You talk about occupying the news, and as a kid, I was old enough to know that that was significant, and we kind of grew up, with reruns of his silly shows that he would do, the ones that he was so unproud of. He got locked into contract to do those things, but as a youngster, those were kind of fun to watch. So see these old campers, I'm telling you, they are building new campers that look old. There's no way somebody found that many of the same camper. I mean, is that possible? I think somebody is building old-looking campers. I seen that the other day when I drove through here with the Spider, and I meaning to do some research on it. How do I get stuck behind these people? So I left Vancouver, and now I'm actually in Kelso, Washington. Across that bridgeways, you go into Longview. I think it's pretty much on the other side of the river. That's the Cowlitz. If you can see them bridges in the distance, that's going over the Cowlitz River. That's Tennant Way. So we're going to take Kelso Drive to Kelso. How does that grab you? But yeah, I remember that day. So I get to talking about a redhead named Angie at Camp Calama. And that goes to Angie, don't remember either one of them's last name, in Texarkana, Texas. And us being in Arkadelphia, Arkansas, which is just shy of Hot Springs. Hot Springs is right up the road. And the day that Elvis Presley died. Crazy stuff, huh? What was that? You guys probably know that I actually used to know the date by heart. It was like a, one of those things when, forever, and still, you get around the right people. People don't talk about Elvis Presley much anymore, considering that's, 38 years ago. But anyway, when I was a kid, it was talked about a lot. It was that thing like JFK. Do you remember where you were at the day JFK was shot? I don't remember, but I can tell you this: I was on my third day of life. But anyway, how's that for a little story? This right here that I'm on right now used to be I-5. This was I-5. This was northbound, that was southbound. Hard to believe, huh? Well, these trees were kept back quite a bit more than what they are now, obviously. But when you made it into Kelso here, where the Red Lion is, there was like a, a wide spot on the right, and you essentially just turned off the freeway. There was no off-ramp. Do you guys remember that when the freeway was that way? You just slowed down right in the middle of the freeway and just, it was like taking this turn right there, Pretty crazy. I remember the freeway, and I remember coming by these rocks when I was a kid. When we go down south or whatever, I remember driving by those rocks and knowing, yep, our exit's just, our road to go into town is just right up the corner. So the main exit, they got a main Allen Street exit, but there wasn't really an Allen Street exit before. You just turned off here at the Red Lion. And right here. But the freeway kind of went straight. I mean, they, obviously built this all up and changed it. They worked on that for a long time. But yeah, you just it was crazy. And you went down here to Allen Street. There was no exit like you see right there. The exit was up on the top of the hill. And now when you look up at the top of the hill, there's no remnants of any kind that there was ever an exit there. It's just an overpass. In fact, I'm going to drive you right up on that overpass. Shit. I was about to try to downshift there with with my feet on the back pegs. That feels so natural that it's like that's where it's supposed to be. I'm going to go straight here. Take you up and over where the where the overpass used to be. Hey, there's a little old Sportster right there. Hot ziggity go. No idea what year and model that thing was. An old carbureted one, I can tell you that. It's an Evo motor, I know that. Had a lot of chrome, a lot of custom stuff on there. Right across the way, right there, used to be the Highlander. Is that right? The Highlander Bowl, and it just occupied the entire area over there. And it was like add-on buildings. It was really weird when you walked in there, how the buildings were just kind of just added on. Some were sitting at different levels, so you walked up these weird, like, wooden plank-like things inside. Of course, that all got mowed down and got moved to the other side, and it was mismanaged and doesn't exist anymore. In fact, there's like a bad omen about that building. It used to be a Safeway there, and then they put the Safeway over by the mall. So that Safeway became the Highlander, and man, one place after another has gone in there and failed. And of course, the old economy comes along and wipes everything out. But this up here, this used to be the off-ramp, on-ramp. Now it's just this little road that comes through here. Little road to nowhere. Now, right to the right up here, that is a really cool, if I'm just goofing, I don't want it because it take me too long to go all the way up there and back. That goes way up a mountain. And it's a nice twisty road that we used to go racing up and down on sport bikes before I started racing and realized that that was, holy hell, dangerous to race on the road. So I'm going to try to take you, I don't know if I can get to it anymore, and I don't know where to turn. But there was a humongous set of steps that went down the side of this mountain. Where the hell were them things at? God, that almost seems familiar there. But anyway, I mean, you're probably talking 10, 15 stories maybe. I think this is it right here. Yeah, that's it. But they've since even taken the steps out. But right at the end of this was a set of steps, cement steps, and I literally rode a motorcycle down that thing, and I even rode Kelly down it. See, now it's just a dirt path, but it used to be some metal handrails. Hope you can see that down there. Handrails, and them steps went whoo. And Dean and I used to ride up that thing on our dual sports. And I mean, you're talking some crazy, crazy, crazy steep steps. Ah, that house burnt down. Look at that. Remember that old house there? It's funny, these trees weren't that big when I drove up there. But at one point, you can still see some of the blacktop where it led to it. But they came along and took all them steps out. Cool. That wasn't so hard to find. I'm still in Kelso, by the way. Longview is, well, there's different bridges now, but Longview's on the... When I was a kid, I thought when you went across the Cowlitz over here that, Softail, when you went across the bridge, that just... Or the river was the dividing line between Kelso and Longview, but actually it's farther in town. Didn't even know that. That place nestled down in the woods like that. Some old houses here. See the old paper on down the road there. Up on that hill used to be the old Kelso High. They tore that thing down. Actually, they quit using it in the 70s, and it was like 80. Around 82, maybe before then. A friend of mine that I worked with graduated there, and there used to be a photography studio right there. But a friend I worked with graduated there. We used to go, you could sneak in. We'd ride our bikes up there and sneak in and go roaming around the school. It's funny, you see those shows where people go in these old asylums or old schools or whatever, there's ghosts and stuff in there. That school reminded you of that. But a big old school way up on the top of the hill there. From the school you could look out over the whole city. And then we'd go, or I went up there, I wasn't with my friend. I went up there and the thing was knocked down. You know, I did a vlog through here that I never used. You remember me telling you the story when I had the CB1100F and I raced back from that little gas station and I pulled in and crashed in front of a house? It was where my friend that graduated from the high school up there, the very guy I'm talking about. Well, I can tell you his first name. His name is Floyd. And anyway, him and I, it's when I first moved away from home. My first experience with living on my own was right here. 92 Pacific Place. But I come racing down this, I just smelled pot big time. I'm racing down this road, hung a left into here, and proceeded to bust my ass right in front of the house. I was in this left duplex. And that was the garage that I worked on my stuff. Man, that thing is run down. Holy crap. But that little duplex was yellow when I lived there. And if you dig through my pictures, you'll actually see pictures of me standing in front of that with my Honda CBX. I'd had a good day at the races. There's one picture where I'm standing there holding a trophy. And I don't it was like, I think it was like my, I don't know, first or second race, I have no idea. But anyway, won a trophy, and I'm standing there. I don't put that picture up. I look like such a nerd. And the trophies they gave out back then were just a plaque. They're really nice. But they were just a plaque. Anyway, this is the road I was racing down. And I'll show you the little gas station. The gas station's completely changed. I don't know if this happened in your area or your country, but they had this deal that where aging fuel tanks had to be removed. Well, it's hideously expensive, and a lot of gas stations went belly up. But look at this right here. This is an old gas station. That's not it, but it's an old gas station. But anyway, this guy had his tanks dug up, and it at least I remember it being different. Seems like the pumps faced a different direction, but that's where I was getting gas. And that cop was tucked in. He was just watching for speeders, and here I come rolling up on a bike with no lights, just number plates. What a goomba, huh? That's I-5 out there to my right. And if you see the cement and metal version of that bridge, I've got pictures. Something happened. That thing caught on fire. That was an old Weyerhaeuser railroad that they no longer use. That was the main line that all the trees from around the Mount St. Helens area came down. Them tracks go all the way up to Mount St. Helens. Is that cool or what? Man, I just think of the way I used to fly through here. My mind, I think I want to do that, but then in reality, I don't. I still enjoy riding around, but I don't go racing around. Let's see if I can turn in here right quick without getting ran over. But this is big, like, a lot of people fish down here. What's this guy got going on? He's clearing that lot out. He's gonna build him something there, I think. Ooh, I just touched a peg. It's a leader. Oh, no. Oh, double no. Nope. They're going to turn. Anyway, the tracks come right around on the side of this hill. There's a big landslide there about 5 or 6 years ago. The whole side of that hill come tumbling down. But on top of that's where the Weyerhaeuser train came through. Really cool when a train, to sit here and watch a train go around that. You can see the old, still got the tracks and stuff there. They haven't dug them up or anything. But the main lines are right there behind us. In fact, that bridge underneath there's a tunnel that goes through that mountain. There's a cool old trestle back here too. I don't think I can get to that trestle. It's nestled back in there. How far I can go back in here, or if it even gets me near that trestle. But that's it right there. This road might even go underneath it. I think it does. Been out here before. It's been a while. I think it literally goes right underneath it. Cool, huh? I'm sure this road ends at a barking dog. I love old trestles. I just think they're so cool. I see my remote has lost contact there. Turn that off and back on right quick. It's funny, I was turning so sharp back there when I turned around by the river there. Make sure I didn't turn you off here. I shouldn't have, because I wasn't connected to the remote. I'd like to know how long I've been talking. I think a long time. sunshot for you. This remote, and it doesn't, it's not just the smart remote. I just don't have contact with I lose contact with my camera with this remote, with the Hero 4. And then the old remote was the same way. See, I'm recording right along. I can't really tell. That thing is so irritating. Anyway, I've talked long enough. I'm going to stop for now. I'm going to manually shut the camera off here and try to reboot this thing up, get that remote working. So we'll chit-chat with you later. Oh, I hear the fans running. I'm just kidding. My air-cooled fans. Anyway, we'll talk to you later. Bye.